Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. My name's Connor Williams, and this is another video on this is a video on the loanees leaving Everton Football Club. So Everton announced today that Jack Harrison, Jesper Lindstrøm, Orel Mangala, and Armando Broja will all return to their parent clubs when their loan deals expire at the end of the month. In the club statement, they say that the club are continuing discussions for Carlos Alcaraz, Charlie Alcaraz, who joined the Blues on loan from Flamengo in February. Um, I think fans were sort of hoping that, and I'll get into the players and what I think and all that after the next couple of statements and Moyes' comments, but we'll get into the Alcaraz stuff as well. The statement goes on to mention each player's what they've given to the club. So Harrison, they mentioned that he's been here for 2 seasons, making 73 appearances and scoring 5 goals. Lindstrøm, who came from Napoli, has featured 29 matches. Mangala from Lyon, they say, played 21 times before sustaining his cruciate ligament injury. And obviously Broja, who's played for 11 times for Everton. David Moyes did say, "We would like to thank all our loan players who've contributed to the positive steps we made on the pitch. They've all embraced what it means to play for this club, and their attitude and commitment throughout their time at Everton was first class. We wish Jack, Jesper, Orel, and Armando all the very best in the future." And then it says at the bottom, the club will provide further updates on remaining players out of contract in due course, which I'm sure is a video coming in the future. But yeah, obviously there's a couple of players whose contracts will expire. So yeah, first things off the bat, I guess we should get into what the players contributed when they were at Everton and that sort of stuff. The statement was very nice, but it was also very like professional. I don't think any of the players leaving those 4 players, 5 players, bar Jack Harrison because he's been here for 2 years. The other 3, I don't think have had like a massive impact on the club. Armando Broja's played 11 games, and Mangala, unfortunately, due to his injuries, played 21. That's not a lot of game time, that. Yeah, so we'll get into their stats and then I'll argue whether or not, we should have seen them stay in. Also, it is worth saying, I don't know. We don't know at this time. Everton could sort of try and renegotiate deals with these players. But we'll have a look now. So Mangala, first of all, we'll start with him. This is a player that a lot of people liked. I saw a lot of people to the tweet saying, we really should have kept Mangala. Again, I don't know. There's no saying that Everton aren't going to try and go back in to Lyon with a different loan deal or maybe even trying to purchase. You never know. Lyon as well. I don't know. I don't know where they were last time I checked, but last time I checked, they were struggling in the French league, and rumours of relegation. Obviously, their owner is Textor, who was interested in buying us a long, long, long time ago. Well, I say interested, but I think he was messing around a little bit. No, Leon is safe and clear. I must have seen that ages ago. Yeah, anyway, ignore that bit because I must have seen people saying about that a long time ago because they're well clear and safe. They're also in Europe. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, Mangala, I like him as a player. I thought he was very good. Um, he is one that he obviously scored 1 goal for us as well. He is one that people sort of wanted to stay. Um, it's just unfortunately his cruciate ligament in. I think there's a player there. Whether Textor wants to do a deal with us now after not being able to buy him is something else. That is up to him. I don't know how he thinks, but he's certainly a player that I think, especially if Idrissa Gana Gueye goes, and we could need a couple more bodies in midfield, and he's one that I'd certainly be looking at if I was Everton, if the price was right. Um, I would personally keep him as well for what it's worth. Moving on, we have Armando Broja, who, like the statement said, has not played a lot of games for Everton this season. He's played 11 across all competitions. Um, no goals either for him, which is unfortunate for a striker. He's just had a really tough time at Everton. In the Premier League, he's played 331 minutes, which is across 10 matches. Yeah, it's a bit tough. Obviously, he got injured during that as well. kicked the grass and got injured, then played next game and got injured. I feel for him, obviously, because his career has been a very up and down, well, mainly down recently. And I think he thought this might be the move to rejuvenate his career. And I feel for Everton because, especially like Kevin Felwell, he's liked Broja for a while. We've been linked with Broja for a while, and we finally got the man on loan. And yeah, it just really didn't go well for us or Broja really due to injuries and just not being able to get a foot in it. Um, and now we're going to send him back. And I don't know what it means for his career going next, but I personally don't think Everton should be looking to keep the player on. I wouldn't be negotiating another loan deal. I'd just be putting a line under that. Let's move on. Obviously, we're linked with like Liam Delap and other strikers. Yeah, let's just knock this down to got him, tried, didn't work. Some things don't work in life. You move on, and that's one of these. But I don't think he had a case to stay. Next, we have Jesper Lindstrøm, who obviously came from Napoli. He has played for us 29 times in all competitions. He's got 1 assist, 0 goals. I don't think he scored in a long time, has he? He didn't score in for Napoli either. He's played 29 games before joining us at Napoli and didn't score. So he's going through a bit of a goal drought at the minute, it's got to be said. And I think once he gets his first goal again, that'll lift the weight of his. But yeah, so far it's a bit tough for Jesper Lindstrom. It's one of those things, isn't it, where players can suffer from confidence, and a goal will do in the world of good. Um, I liked him. He was a quick player. Obviously, he's not getting the numbers needed. You know, when he was at Frankfurt, he was doing really well, hence why Napoli bought him. He was a player that I liked before he came. Obviously, he struggled at Napoli, but I was like, oh, but he's not getting in. He has played a bit of time with us as well. He's played over 1,000, it's like 1,240 minutes in the Premier League alone. He was quick. His defensive actions were decent as well. He's actually obviously this is because with the manager we like obviously Sean Dyche being more defensive minded, but his defensive actions were really good this season. Bearing in mind when we signed him, that was one of the things that people were like we're saying was his weakness, his defensive, actions, but he won 25 tackles this season and made 12 interceptions, which along the wingers of the Premier League is quite a high percentile. Um, so it's really, really impressive for him. It works out about 1.81 tackles per game and stuff like that, and like 0.87 interceptions. I think he works hard and I think he did do really well. I think he's also meant to be an attacking player, and you need sort of the assists and goals, and we just weren't getting them from him. I can't see the club going back in for him. I think we'll look at other options. We do need pace down the wings, though. I think it's something that this Everton squad's been dying out for. And we've been having managers like Dyche, who wants to play on a counter attack with no pace in the side. Now we've got David Moyes, who's a bit different in it, but still quite similar. And he needs pace in his side. When you look at that West Ham team that um, he had some pace in there. You know, he had Kudus, who was absolutely rapid. So he does need a little bit of pace. Antonio's no slouch either. You just need a pace if you're going to play like that. I think you need pace anyway in the Premier League. You always hear the former players saying about the Premier League's physicality and the pace. I watched Ibrahimovic do an interview, I think it was like Hot Ones, and he said the Premier League you need pace to match the physicality because it's just back and forth, back and forth. And that's what we need at Everton, really. And Lindstrom does have it. I just think his output, his sort of goals and assists and passing isn't very good. Um, so yeah, a bit of a shame for him. And then finally we got Jack Harrison, who weirdly feels like getting rid of a player because he's been here for 2 years on loan. It feels like we're getting rid of our player. Interesting he's going because David Moyes had said there were reports earlier this year saying that Moyes likes Harrison, um, which is interesting. Like I said, we could be trying to renegotiate behind the scenes. You never know. We could go on to trying to look at Jack Harrison or any of the lads mentioned today. I personally don't think Jack Harrison will be worth what the money that Leeds will probably be asking for. He's played 2,083 minutes, 1 goal, no assists. Again, a player that's done really well defensively for us. He's had 31 successful crosses, um, 22 tackles won. Interceptions aren't that good, but tackling wise, he's really good. He could have scored the other day against Newcastle. Ironically, I mean, I can't say said his first touch was bad. I think his first touch was all right. I think Jack Harrison's actually got a really nice first touch. It's one of the pros of his game. He just tried to loop the keeper or back post cross it. I don't know what it was. He really should have just touched and then just absolutely laced it with his left foot. But yeah, I think his output of byproduct of like shooting isn't very good. Again, he's similar to Lindström, needs to see more assists than that. I also think he's one of the most obviously one-footed footballers we've had, and I don't know how does it all the time, but he's very obviously going to switch onto his stronger foot on his left, and you will not believe how many defenders fall for him cutting inside. It's incredible to watch. Because after a while you think like we can all see what he's going to do, and you're like, right. But yeah, he did put in a cross the other day with his right foot, his left against Newcastle, and I think that was like when I watched it, and I was just like. Yeah, I think we need better quality wingers in terms of getting service into the player. They either need to be better goal scorers or better ball providers for the striker, or both. Um, yeah, Jack Harrison's been here for 2 years, and I feel like what I'm saying about him now, which is he works hard, defensively sound, great first touch, it's probably what I said about him last year, and the cons are the same. So maybe we need to look at moving on. We also obviously have the Carlos Alcaraz is we're talking to Flamengo. We want that deal over the line potentially. So we'll talk a little bit about him. He has played 16 games for Everton. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists. He scored a really nice goal against Newcastle. It was Tim Cahill-esque. I know Dan Burn is like slipped, so he's like getting back to a vertical base, but the header from him, the leap, the action, just his whole, the glancing to put it the other side of the goal as well. It was very Tim Cahill-esque, and obviously he's not a tall lad either, and it just gave me Cahill vibes to see it. It was fantastic. I like him. I can see why when Southampton had him, Southampton fans really wanted him to stay, and he didn't. And it's funny because Southampton fans were a bit gutted when he left them, and I can see why they liked him so much now. The way he moves, I still think we're playing him in a position that I don't think is where we're getting the best out of him out on the wings. I think he needs to be central, but the way he moves, the balls he plays, he's a very, very good player, and he's a likable character as well. He's feisty. He has that sort of like tenacity behind him. He's up for it. He's the type of player that I can see Everton really, really like Everton fans really falling for. Long term, if we sign him, I can see him being a fan favourite for sure. Goodison this year, people already liked him, but if we could get him on a permanent and he continues to play well, he could be one of them that we'll look back on if he stays, obviously as well. That fans really, like a Richarlison-esque, where fans just really, really adore them. Because I think fans are already like a quarter away there. Obviously, because he's a lone player, you shouldn't fall in love with a lone player, and I think that's one of the things stopping people from fully committing to him. But yeah, he's a really good player, and I would sign Alcaraz. I think we do need to look at signing him, which the club are doing, and I think we need to try and push that over the line. Um, but yeah, that's the video. We've gone through the loans. Obviously thank you as well for all the loan players service. Even though it's only like some of them only played 11 games and some of them struggled with injuries, we appreciate it. We appreciate it nonetheless. Mangala, unfortunate, had his cruciate ligament, but I think he was a really good player, and I think if he wasn't injured, could have been a really, really solid player for us and played a lot more games. So yeah, thank you for them for their service to the club, and hopefully we see Alcaraz again. This isn't goodbye. This is just see you later. Maybe a couple of others as well. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll see a couple of them. I'd like if the club sort of like moved on from a few and started looking at other people. I don't want to see. I think there's some of the loan spells they're done. Broja, I think, is done at Everton. We tried, it didn't work. I worry Lindström's in that bracket. I think Jack Harrison is in that bracket. But yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts on the loanees that have, gone back to their club. Who do you think we should be keeping? I think a lot of you are going to say Alcaraz, and I think a few of you are going to say Mangala. But let me know down below nonetheless. I look forward to reading them, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.